if you're listening to your opponent's Pokemon and the way they cry, can give you a huge indication of how they're chaining as well. If they're comboing, their character will be talking, but if they're chaining, it's the Pokemon cries, and based on so they have a basic cry and then the advanced cry. The advanced cry first comes at a 3-chain. The 4-chain will be the basic cry again, and every chain after that will be the advanced cry, with a more echoey sound as it goes on. So based on like what you're hearing, you can kind of tell what your opponent is doing as well. We are on the map between ilikebeingsmart and RaikouRider. These guys are both more seasoned players, I guess, on the tournament scene at least. Have Nicole taking a quick match?
Quickly taking the first one.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit sudden of a trash block drop from ilikebeingsmart. Raikou wasn't quite ready for that. And also, raising your stack completely removes all stop time that you had. So a well-timed, trash block drop as your opponent's trying to raise their stack could immediately kill them as well.
Yeah, that's why a lot of players won't raise their stack all the way to the top in these higher speeds. If you're not prepared for a sudden trash block, then it's going to kill you.
Absolutely. Even though Nicole only had three rows high of blocks, she was being quite careful. If you're not paying too much attention to what your opponent is doing, you want to be very cautious with what you're doing with your stack.
Starting to see a little bit more careful play from RaikouRider here.
Yeah, especially after that first off-guard kill from...
It helps to know how your opponent is going to play this game, if they're going to be super aggressive or super defensive. And then you can kind of adjust based on what you're observing from them. So it looks like Raikou noticed that ilikebeingsmart is going to be a little more aggressive in her play.
And that's also like something that I always like to talk about in terms of like all the players. They all have a more signature style. We have some more controlled players that are kind of always paying attention to how they're dropping trash on their opponents. Some players who go full offensive, and some players who are very reactive and defensive. So they'll wait for trash blocks and try to chain off massive trash blocks.
Knowing that your opponent is super aggressive means they might be chaining themselves out of blocks. So you might want to also be building up an equally sized chain in order to catch them when they run out.
I do think that the higher levels do lend themselves more towards just being hyper offensive.
Oh, and ilikebeingsmart getting a really lucky break there.
Yeah.
She didn't have a whole lot of space there to get herself out of that situation. Luckily, RaikouRider running out of stop time and saving her from.
Yeah, she had a pretty far way to bring that, water block all the way to the right to get that clear. I don't think ilikebeingsmart had enough stop time to make that move.
No, I think they were about 2 minutes in, so I don't think it would have. It would have helped.
Yeah, that. Running low on blocks.
Him raising the stack, but he stopped it right as ilikebeingsmart was landing garbage on him, so it was very observant of him.
Yeah. Paying a lot of attention, not wanting to get quick killed again, so.
Oh no! Miss swap!
Oh no!
So she had plenty of time to bring that fire block all the way across, but unfortunately she was mashing a little too quickly and ended up swapping it in the wrong direction.
Without getting that right input. So as you switch a block, your inputs are basically being ignored. And because she switched the block back, her right input was just gone. That's just very unfortunate. And it also does happen.
It does. Sometimes you don't have the right rhythm with your swaps, and just maybe mashing a little too fast can end up costing you that swap.
At the same time, if you're not doing it fast enough, you're just gonna run out of time. So.
Right. And I could tell she definitely had that. It's just the probably a quarter of a second she spent readjusting was all of the stop time she had.
I mean, this round we're having like really big attacks from both of these players. But ilikebeingsmart is a little bit more I guess offensive. She has RaikouRider topped off. RaikouRider's still missing it by like maybe 3 or 4 rows.
He's doing good and keeping himself alive at the top there.
Yeah. He's gotta, stay alive. Don't panic.
From my observation, it looks that Nicole is much more comfortable with the speed, so that she's able to chain a lot more. To counteract that, if you're not as comfortable with the speed, you're going to spend a lot more time setting up chains in advance than you are just making them on the fly.
Yeah, and the speed of level 8, level 9 also affects that, because it does also affect how fast the blocks are dropping, not just the how fast the stack is raised.
And so ilikebeingsmart is going to take
the first
match of that set.
Yeah, first match. I wonder when the players are going to switch back to basic block. I'm going to maybe complain about that a little too much.
No, see, I'm with you here. I need the basic blocks.
And I believe both of these players are more Puzzle League players, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Okay,
There's not actually many players, other than a few, that are Tetris Attack players through and through. I believe Yoshimitsu is one of the few players that is also a Tetris Attack player.
Okay. So they might actually be more comfortable with this than we are.
Oh, they definitely are.
Or even if you're just somebody who maybe grew up with Puzzle League and just always played basic. Basic blocks are very round and shiny and easy to see.
That's my thing, is they're easier to see. I need the high visibility. All right, Smart is taking the first round there.
Pretty quick, I would like to say that ilikebeingsmart is the favored player for this match.
Yeah, Nicole certainly has had a ton of experience in this game.
And a lot of experience with tournaments. I believe she's entered many more tournaments than RaikouRider has. Yeah, and tournament experience is also a huge factor, not just your skill with the game.
All right, seeing some very conservative play on RaikouRider's side there. Just trying not to get to strain himself and at least try and set up a lot of chains.
I think that's also very smart, to just kind of like not overextend yourself. not put yourself on a limb, especially when you're going against somebody that you know. Oh, that was very unfortunate.
I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like she stopped moving.
She just had no immediate clears. She had a clear on the bottom, like on the second from the bottom row, but that was a flat line clear, and she needed to clear that before she was able to get a vertical clear for her trash blocks. So I think upon not seeing a vertical clear, she just froze.
Yeah, it looked like she kind of just accepted defeat there.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens sometimes, you know, like sometimes you're just like, you know what, I will be either mashing extremely hard to maybe get this clear, or I can just kind of call it here.
And sometimes, you know, you just have like a brain fart. Yeah, in the middle of the match, you can't see something, and maybe just saw it a little too late. Just try not to like stress over it, and start focusing again on the next game.
Right.
And that's not to say that luck doesn't play a factor. Sometimes just the way that you're seeing it, you know, it's like unfortunate for you, but maybe somebody else would have done something differently and it would have been easier for them.
Oh, and another really unfortunate spread of blocks there.
Yeah. I think just the way she had it set up was a little unfortunate. But that was also a good, you know, good attack. And now we have RaikouRider in the lead for this round match. You're gonna have to help me with the terminology.
Oh yeah. In this set, yeah.
Yeah. Could have a very even game.
Oh wow, both very big attacks here, and both handling them very nicely. So now we're gonna see who runs out of endurance, basically.
And endurance is you know, especially for that very first match that we had, Monty and FFR going the distance.
Oh wow, and Nicole missing the easy clear there.
Yeah.
So now we're 1-1 in this set. We have a
Maybe-
tiebreaker round here.
Maybe a little too ambitious with that, but we are down to final. So right now we are in best of three.
The sets are best of 5, and it's best of 3 sets.
Oh, yeah. It's the set within themselves is the best of 5, but the set is the best of 3 until we get to winners and losers finals, I believe, and those are best of 5, best of 5.
Yeah.
Are down to the wire. No more forgiveness. Every round here.
Very light attack coming toward ilikebeingsmart. RaikouRider has been topped off, but it looks like he's able to keep these chains going.
As long as he can, you know, stay alive.
And just like that.
Yeah, weather it out for a little bit. But he just didn't have the offensive on that at all. No counterattack, so ilikebeingsmart was relatively free from everything. You know, there's no worries. You don't have any trash blocks to worry about. You can just focus on just keeping on the trash blocks on your opponent. Keep them nice and topped off.
I think you're in a really good spot when you're able to raise your stack. That's how you know you're controlling the match.
Yeah, she was able to raise her stack, 4 whole rows. So
Yeah.
that is a very comfortable spot to be in.
But now it looks like RaikouRider is in a similar comfortable spot. He's not
Yeah.
not having a whole lot of pressure thrown down on him.
Yeah, now the tables have turned.
Oh, and
no.
she missed the swap!
Another missed directional input.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she swapped the piece under the piece she needed to swap for the clear.
And then went one too high.
And you saw just one miss swap, and the amount of time between swapping one and then another one is all the stop time you have in these matches. So you have to be really on the ball.
This match is really coming down to the wire. A big attack. I feel like that should top off. I like being smart.
And
Very close to being so.
RaikouRider actually being very risky there, raising his stack.
Yeah. I think he has plenty of blocks to work with, so as long as there's no big flubs, he should be alright. And as long as he can keep on the pressure, he'd be in a very good position to win this.
I like being smart is in a similar position. She's getting some very good pieces here for continuing this chain here. She's at a 10 chain now. That's going to send a 9 block thick chain block there.
So especially with people who are very good at counterattacking, and even using your opponent's trash against them, sometimes you don't, if you're sending massive chains and they're very good at adapting to it, you could be shooting yourself in the foot by just giving them an easy way to work big chains into their defense.
Raikou setting up a very nice chain there.
Missing a little bit of combos, I believe. And this is why I really appreciated FFR using the layering attacks. Just because it makes it a little bit more difficult for your opponent to work through.
Mm-hmm.
We have I Like Being Smart up 2-1.
Yep, this is match point.
Yeah, final match point of the set. Or match point and the set.
You're trying.
I am having a very difficult time. Yeah, but with how fast, some of these games have went, I'm actually very nervous for both sides.
Yeah. Pretty good 8 chain there from RaikouRider. I Like Being Smart's going to be chewing on that one for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, and that is it. I Like Being Smart advances.
That he had the clears, maybe just a little unprepared, a little slow for it. When you have that little stop time,